Alright, so right now I'm headed to the gas station to put gas in this beast, and then I'm gonna start heading up to the junkyard. Once I've got gas in this and I'm set to head out of town, I will let you guys know what I'm picking up, and I'll let you guys know why I'm not driving the Eclipse there. Don't worry, it still runs fine. I just don't trust it, and I'll explain exactly why in just a second. So I'm headed to the junkyard to go and pick up a cylinder head for the 420A in my Eclipse. And the car runs fine, but it seems like a valve stem seal has given out on it. You guys saw that I did a compression test on the car not too long ago, and then I also went and did a leak down test, because the compression test passed, which means bottom end is probably fine, but it's burning a ton of oil. I saw it yesterday. Normally I drive the car at night so I don't notice it, but I went to pass somebody and it was just this giant cloud of blue smoke behind me once I started getting up in the RPMs. Low revs, it doesn't do it hardly at all, but high revs, it was just awful plume of smoke out the back of it, and it actually made the car bog a little bit. It pissed so much out. So I'm guessing once it got into the higher RPMs and the oil pressure picked up a little bit, oil was able to escape past one of the valves in that cylinder head. So I'm gonna go pick up a different cylinder head, and since I really can't do much work on the Eclipse right now till I'm in my new shop, I can't do anything real crazy, so I'll just go buy a spare cylinder head, get it rebuilt, get it machined, cleaned up, check everything out on it, put new valve stem seals, make sure the valves in the head I get are good, and I'll go ahead and put that cylinder head on the Eclipse when the time comes. That also means that the Eclipse will be getting an upgraded head gasket as well as some ARP head studs put into it as well, since I'm going to be down there anyway and I'll have to replace them, so I'll go put ARP head hardware in it and all that stuff. Didn't really want to have to do that, and honestly I could probably let the oil leak go for quite some time if I wanted to, but I'm not going to just drive around and be burning oil everywhere, and it's only going to get worse. So that's what I'm doing, going to grab a cylinder head so that I can have a freshly rebuilt head ready to be dropped into my car. That's what's going on. I'm going to get back with you guys once I'm at the yard, and hopefully by the end of the day here we've got a nice cylinder head to rebuild and drop onto the Eclipse. Alright, here we are. Found one with 171,000 miles on it. So I'm gonna go get the GoPro set up somewhere over here, and I'm just going to time lapse the entire removal process because it's gonna take a minute. There it is, all off. Here's what the old pistons look like. Well, this thing was actually clean inside, it's not all rusty. Pistons are a little dirty. Some of that's probably from me pulling the head off though. That was a bitch and a half because I didn't feel like unbolting the entire timing cover, so I had to break it. But we got it, so we're good. Now it's time to head back and maybe get that thing torn apart some more. Alright, we are back. Pretty much completely torn down now. A little bit of the plan for this as far as what I'm going to be doing with it. So overhead, which is super cool. This is everything here that I bought. I threw a couple things away. I still had the EGR valve, threw that crap out, and just a couple other random things that were hanging off of this. But these cams, they're in rough shape. The car that these came off of probably sat for a very long time because the lobes are very rusty, as you can hopefully see. I've checked the bottom. I would flip it and show you guys, but this thing will end up dripping oil all over my floor if I do. It's already done it right there a little bit. The valves are in great shape. The spark plugs are actually still in this thing. I don't know if the head's warped yet or not. The thing's too dirty to even try checking how flat or straight it is, and I plan on getting it decked and cleaned and everything. I want to get it done once and just be good to go. And of course there's the intake manifold. Didn't really need it, but I figured if I can get it and not get charged for it, cool. And I didn't get charged for it, so I got that. I also have the thermostat housing and the water neck and everything. And then all my bolts are down there in this front bag right here. Basically everything that I took off: intake manifold, the thermostat housing, water neck stuff, the idler pulley, and some of the EGR bolts and a couple other random bolts that I saved are in there. And then this bag has all of the rocker arms in it, which are also in good shape. Dirty, but in good shape. So if I end up having an issue with the ones that are in my current motor, which I shouldn't, but if I do, I've got an entire set of rocker arms that appear to be in good shape. Because these, I've heard that 420A rocker arms have a tendency to just escape their little seat and do whatever rocker arms do when they escape. Typically they'll just end up sitting up here somewhere and maybe wear down a spring or two, but as long as they don't explode, you don't really end up with too many issues. But I've heard that those things tend to leap off of their seats and go rogue on people. Yeah, that's everything that I have. Oh, also I have the returnless fuel rail. That was in 1999, so it had the fuel pressure regulator located in the fuel tank, so it has the returnless fuel rail on it, which is cool because if I ever do a fuel cell or something on my car's fuel rail right there that I can run, I can put the fuel cell in the car and mount the fuel pressure regulator towards the back of the car as well, and I have a return line running all the way back, which I may end up doing over the winter time to that car. So having that is a bonus. That was also free. I also have 4 injectors, which were free because they were in the intake manifold. Didn't get charged for the rail, the injectors, or the intake manifold. Oh, I got the injector harness, which I don't need at all, but I have it, which is okay, I guess. Right there, I unplugged it, kept that, and there's really not much else left of it. That's everything I grabbed. The main thing I needed was a head that I can put new stem seals in, and I'm also going to go and reseat the valves, get it cleaned, get it decked. And the 428 heads don't have cam bearings, so hopefully those are in good shape. I don't know when I'm going to actually go get this head work done, but I wanted to have a head sitting around ready to go because I think pretty soon here I'm pretty much at this point out of stuff to do on the car until I get into my shop. So until then, there's not going to be a whole lot going on. So having this head here will give me something to do that's Eclipse related to make videos on. If I end up just deciding to port it out and open it up a little bit, let it breathe a little bit better, or if I get it machined and decide to put together a built head. I just got a question actually a little bit ago Let me look through and see who it was that left the question about what cams I want to run. Marcos, and then a bunch of 5s, and then a 4. He was asking what I'm going to be doing as far as cams. If the cams that come out of my current head are in good shape, I'm just going to plop those in this head and use them. If they're not in good shape, I don't know, I'm going to try to find a good set of second-hand cams, because I really don't feel like spending the money on a set of cams yet, because I'm not going to be making enough power to really need a set of camshafts anyway. I'm probably going to cut myself off at about 250 horsepower, so I don't need cams. I also don't need like valve springs or any retainers or anything, because I'm not going to be revving it very high. There's a slight possibility I might upgrade the springs so I can bump the red line up to maybe 7,000, 7,500, a little bit overstock, but I don't really trust the rocker arms on these cars very well, so I'm probably going to keep it at stock red line at 6,500. But I want to try to keep the stock cams if mine are in good shape. If not, I'm going to look for a second-hand set of cams, and in that case, I'm just going to take whatever I can find, as long as it's a street-worthy cam. And if all else fails, I'll probably go buy a set of Crower cams. I'll get a turbo grind, not an NA grind probably, but I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. That's a long way out. I won't know what kind of shape my current cams are in until I get my engine pulled out of the Eclipse, which is a whole other topic I'm going to be talking about in another video, probably shortly after this, honestly. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully the time-lapse turns out all right. I had a couple issues with the camera falling over, and hopefully you guys are excited for seeing a little bit of head work getting done. This is my first time actually pulling a head off and trying to rebuild it. I'm going to try to do everything myself aside from the machine work and the cleaning, because I don't have all this stuff to do that completely. So with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys later.